Now, 4 years ago, balaclava-clad female punk band Pussy Riot made international headlines with a protest against Russia's leader Vladimir Putin inside a Moscow church. Band members were accused of hooliganism on grounds of religious hatred and jailed before being released 2 years later. One of those detained was Maria Alyokhina, who's drawing on her personal experience of imprisonment for a performance of the Belarus Free Theatre's Burning Doors, which premieres tonight at the Melbourne Arts Centre. And Maria joins us in the studio along with Belarus Free Theatre director Natalia Kolyada. Good morning and welcome to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Natalia, can I start with you? Belarus Free Theatre is an astonishingly brave theatrical venture. You operate underground, you continue to do secret performances in defiance of the oppressive regime that you live under. How do you manage to put on such provocative work and still be here moving around the world?
I think it's a very, we have only a few minutes and it's a long story, but our actors continue to exist underground in Belarus. And it's done almost for 12 years. Me, my husband and our partner, we are political refugees in the UK, and in order for us to manage all of it, we need to get on Skype and direct shows on Skype, teach our students on Skype. And it's a logistical nightmare to get actors out of Belarus to come to Melbourne. They are not those people who you could put on one plane and get them to wonderful Australia. You need to put them via different countries and then to land them here.
My goodness.
Because it's the last dictatorship in Europe and it's still there. People are kidnapped, tortured, political prisoners, and unfortunately the world continues to watch that for more than 22 years.
And yet despite that, do you have lots of actors wanting to take part in your presentations?
Unfortunately, I need to tell you that it is a very small group of people who are with us for 12 years, because it's exactly that particular fear that people have, that if you joined, you will lose your job. All of them, they lost their job, they got arrested, they've been in jails, they've been beaten up, but these are the most dedicated actors who continue to work underground in Belarus. And what is the most amazing, that this particular theatre brings theatre innovation to the world. And it's about changing the world for better by means of great theatre.
And Maria, your involvement and of course your story and Pussy Riot's now, as Michael mentioned, famous story is being told in this production of Burning Doors. Peter Pawlenski's extraordinarily physical performances and political statements included as well, Oleg Sentsov as well. How involved have you been in the actual sort of story that's going to be told in this theatrical production?
Well, for me, that is a first time in theatre and in political theatre as well. And for me, it's interesting to experiment with genres. Well, our collaboration started almost a year ago. I wrote a letter to Natalia and to Nikolai, who is director of Burning Doors.
Yes.
That I want to do a project with them because, for my opinion, they are doing very similar work as we do. And, well, we have the same goals.
Yes, you must sort of feel like kindred spirits a bit, do you?
Different countries, but spirits are the same.
Yeah.
We're a wild beast from Eastern Europe.
Hey, Maria, we all know your experience, Care, of you being jailed for 2 years after that infamous worldwide famous performance in the Moscow Cathedral. How tough was it for you in jail in Russia?
Wow, that was quite interesting for me.
We can imagine.
I believe that every experience is an experience. So if you find a way to fight even against prison, you will be, I think, stronger at the end of the story.
And did you find ways of fighting while inside the jail?
Yes, and the result of this fight is a project which we started after we have been released. It's a human rights project providing legal help to other prisoners and independent media, which is now in top 10 of Russian internet media, covering all the topics connected with prison violence, police violence, political courts. And now in Russia it's topic number 1 because There are no oppositioner who do not have criminal case against him, and who not, yeah.
So what do you make of the fact that Donald Trump, who seems to be rather friendly with Vladimir Putin now, is president-elect of the United States? What do you imagine is going to change now with that relationship, and how do you view the fact that Vladimir Putin seems to have some better standing and profile in the United States under this president-elect?
Well, I've been in the United States during these elections, and, well, I've been in Mexican place, and when Trump won, this Mexican place was like full of Trump supporters, which was quite absurd. But at the same time, I really believe that community is stronger than government. And if we, people who are standing for freedom and human rights, will be strong now, I really believe that we can manage this situation.
Natalia, take us through the situation in your country, Belarus. You mentioned the repressive conditions there. Can you see that situation changing anytime soon?
Unfortunately, because of Russia on our border and recent Russian invasion to Ukraine, it's not possible for us to have any nearby hope. But it's very important for the world leaders to understand that Russia now is more dangerous, and it got back to the Soviet Union time, but it's very mutated form of that time, because now a lot of Western business is located in Russia. And when we talk about realpolitik and human rights, we see that realpolitics is much more stronger than human rights, because everything is connected to business profits and geopolitical interest, not to people interest. So using Belarus as a country for peace talks between the West and Russia, I believe it's not possible, because this is the last dictatorship in Europe where bodies of major opponents are not found, and those who kidnapped and killed them, they are still in power. And now, even with Burning Doors campaign, we run a huge campaign on release of Ukrainian filmmaker who is in Russian jail for 20 years. And it was an absolutely staged case, and we need to understand that if we do not stand up together jointly, journalists, theater makers, provoke politicians to answer to us, then there will be no hope for the future. With Brexit, with Trump moving towards, it will be only backwards development for the world.
Maria, you managed to live and work in Russia still. I'm wondering how you do that when your life must just be 24 hours a day surveilled by the authorities, is it?
Yes.
So how do you get your work done?
Well, I'm just writing my mails.
You said, Natalia, you just do it.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the same attitude too, Maria?
Yes, but I mean, well, when I've been in prison, for example, I received a lot of letters that we are kind of an example, and I really believe that every person can be an example of existence and acting. And well, if you're living your life like this, you just do it. I don't know.
Lots of our viewers would have also seen you in your cameo on House of Cards. What was it like working with Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright, and how big a platform was that for you to state your case?
Well, that was this collaboration happened very spontaneously, but the main person for me in the show is Bo Williman, who is
the creator of it. Yes.
Yep.
He is amazing person. I think one of the best political known person which I know.
Well, Maria, Natalia, it's so terrific to meet you both, and we know that it's going to be a really strong and provocative piece of theatre here in Melbourne and in the country.
Don't miss it. It's only a few days in Melbourne Arts Centre.
It's a very short season, but a powerful one. So nice to meet you both. Go well.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.